Hey everybody, Goosebumps for Dummies back at it again with another video. This time talking about more tales to give you goosebumps. The third book in the Tales series from Goosebumps. Now, this is a 6-book run, and this is directly in the heart of it, the very middle. And, yeah, this is probably the least talk about Tales book. There's always talk about Tales 1 and 2. Some about 6, but I don't see a lot about 4 either, to be fair. 5 is a bit common. Either way, this is part of the rather under-talked about Tales books, from what I've seen at least. But it has some more talked about stories inside of it, to be fair. And actually some of it got episode adaptations, such as Haunted House Game, Perfect School, and I believe another one. I can't quite recall what it was. So let's get to it. And now for the blurb. Reader beware, you're in for 10 more scares. Oh, alright. Can Jeff convince his parents there's a live mummy in his basement? Will Adam escape from a monster's flying gargoyle? Is Brian's boarding school turning kids into robots? Sounds familiar. Find out in these 10 spooky stories to give you goosebumps, or guarantee to make you shiver, or shit your pants. Yeah, so, obviously a couple of those were Don't Wake Mummy, I believe, yes, sorry, I was getting confused with the Horrorland book, Who's Your Mummy, and Perfect School, which of both are pretty popular Goosebumps episodes, since they are based off Tales stories, and they're both pretty good episodes. And, yeah, this book, overall, sadly, is definitely the weakest Tales book. I think most of the stories in here just do not hit entirely. Some of them are just okay. But there's a good couple that are just pretty meh, or even bad. There's a couple ones that I consider bad in this book. And, we'll be going over a couple of those bad ones, a couple of the greater ones, because the highest we're getting in here is a 9 out of 10, and I think the next one is like an 8.5, and the 7 out of 10 are lower across the board. Yeah, the ratings in this book aren't going to be fucking through the roof, to say the least. It's got some pretty bad stories, but also some bangers. Starting off with our upsides, I'm going to point out some of the stories that I liked and some of the things I appreciated about them. So, let's go to the contents page. Got all our stories there. Now, the Chalk Closet, starting off with that one, it's kind of in the middle there. I think this story is like a 6.5 center out of 10, so it's just pretty good. Chalk Closet had a very interesting concept, and it was very creepy, and had a very goofy ending. I really liked this one. Just could have done a bit more with its concept, you know, some creepier stuff. And, it's kind of repetitive. Oh, kid disappears. Yeah. Happens like 5 times. Don't Wake Mummy is pretty good. I'd say the episode is better, but I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10. It has some very interesting changes, like there's a magic shop thrown in this. Yeah, for Don't Wake Mummy, there's a fucking magic shop. Either way, pretty good. Now, I'm telling, this story was really damn good. I actually quite liked it. So, this is our gargoyle story that we read on the back of the book. And, it has a very interesting mechanic involving some green goop that may or may not turn you into stone, coming in contact with it. It's a very fun story. It's got fun characters and a fun premise. And, yeah, I just really much it. Next up is Perfect School. That's definitely one of the best stories out of here. Perfect School, definitely is much creepier than the episode, I'd say. Surprisingly, I think the short story is creepier. And that's the only prop we'll probably give it compared to the episode, but we're not comparing it. I'm just gonna say it. The tale is definitely creepier because there's a certain aspect of events in the school that is just kind of scary. Kind of is an understatement. It's really fucking frightening. Besides that, it's pretty much the episode, but in book form, and it's pretty good. I quite liked it. But that vent shit was pretty scary. Next up is For the Bird, which is probably my favorite story out of here, and that's probably going to be the last one we're going to mention. Besides maybe Aliens in the Garden. That one's like the most mid story in here, but isn't the 5 out of 10s, or rather, the most fine story in here. I'll just say that for Aliens in the Garden. But, For the Birds is a very fucking good story. Specifically for the ending. Though I like everything up to that point, like a hell of a lot, I think it's really good. That ending is awesome. I think it's really good. It's a dark ending as well, and I'm a sucker for darker endings in Goosebumps. It just hits, man. It's a very fucking good ending. And, it's very gross, too. So, what do I not like in this book? Or at least tales-wise, and stuff that I didn't like about those certain tales? Well, Home Sweet Home. Next to nothing interesting about it besides spiders, and that's really it. It's got a very, very weird premise. I kind of like the villain. That's about it for props. That story is just very boring, and nothing that I would ever go back to reread. Just pretty damn mid. I'd even give it like a 4 out of 10, I think. Okay, let's get this one out of the way. Haunted House Game. This story, I see getting a lot of praise, and it's usually like 9 out of 10s or higher. What the fuck are you smoking? I have absolutely no fucking clue why it's that high. I think people who actually put it that high didn't even fucking read it and they just watched the episode. I honestly wouldn't be fucking joking if I said that. There's absolutely no fucking way it's that high. I completely do not understand it. The story itself is really, really bland and basic. It has next to nothing interesting about it besides the ending. The story here in summary is, kid pulls out a board game, the other kids don't like it, but this girl, I think a girl really likes this board game, so they play it, because they're babysitting and they gotta play a board game or something. It's actually called Haunted House Game. It's an in-universe board game that the tale is based off, or title. And spooky shit happens in the board game, and spooky shit may or may not happen in real life, that is exactly the same in the board game. And they shrug it off. This repeats like 5 times until they gradually get more unshruggy-offy, and they come to their senses, and we get to the twist ending, which is pretty damn good. I'll give the twist ending some props. I really like it. It may or may not involve a loop and some dead kids. Yeah, but besides that, this story is just really basic. It has some just stereotype fucking scary shit, like, ooh, I hear a scream in the attic, I hear running noises, somebody knocking on the window. Nothing fucking creative, and it's not even effective. It's just, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. And these kids shrugging off makes them fucking stupid. For the most part, they're shrugging it off. They're just like, okay, let's just continue playing the game, like fucking idiots. When it's pretty obvious there's a fucking real-life Jumanji on their hands. And it just pisses me off that this story is rated so high for, like, fucking no reason. I cannot understand why this story is so highly rated. There is absolutely nothing to like here that much. It's just a mediocre fucking tale with a good ending. That's about it. The ending is the real reason why I'm going to give it a 5.5. That feels generous as fuck for how nothing this story was. It's just basic shit, and nothing was really good here. Yeah. Besides those, I'll try and speed up on these next ones so this video ain't like 20 fucking years long. Change for the Strange was rather in the middle, kind of with Alien in the Garden. It was very basic, but it had a very interesting premise, but I didn't really like it all too much, I'll be honest. And the Thumbprint of Doom. This is one of the huge ones I wanted to mention. This story is, like, so basic as well. A lot of the problems in this book are just basic-ass stories. And, this one is just no fucking different. Basically, we have a superstitious main character. We should have included this on that podcast episode, Lucky 13, where he talked about Lucky 13. Go watch Juice Junkies, I guess. Either way. Yeah, very, very superstitious character. And she talked about something called the Thumbprint of Doom. Thumbprint of Doom. I don't know if I fumbled on that. And that's, like, the only interesting thing about this. It's the main thing I'll give this props for, is having the Thumbprint of Doom story. It's very interesting, but still, it's just dumb. It leads to a dumb ending, dumb climax, dumb everything. We even have some torture aspects, like they're just torturing characters, and not letting them do things that they want to do. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's just a bad story, man. Thumbprint of Doom, absolutely not a fucking good story. I don't know if people like this one or not, so I'm hoping this ain't controversial, but, I'm gonna assume, though, this story, pretty bad. And now for my rating of the book. Overall, I'd say 6 out of the 10 stories aren't very good, or rather, I wouldn't come back to reread. And even those other ones are like 6 out of 10, 6.5, 7 out of 10, 8.5, and I think 9 out of 10. Those are like the exact ratings of the highly rated ones, or rather, highly mentioned ones, and my upsides. They aren't even that fucking fantastic. For the Birds is the only one I really want to reread here, because it's just pretty damn good. Maybe I'm telling us the gargoyles. Anyways, this book gets a 6.5 out of 10 overall. Since there's a lot of mediocre stories, I want to be a bit more fair on this one, because none of them are awful, to be fair. Like, none of them are genuinely awful. I think some of them start to lean towards that, specifically like Thumbprint. of doom, and I think the first story, second story, Home Sweet Home, they lean towards that, where they're just stupid and unfun, and not even, like, worth rereading at all, or reading in the first place. But none of them are truly, like, genuinely awful, or even, like, just straight bad. None of them are straight bad, besides a couple that are saved by, like, better parts or anything. Like, Haunted House game. Nothing's really that bad here, but nothing's also fantastic or great. It's just roughly some of the stories actually land in that area, or like 5.5, 7 out of 10, something around that margin. Yeah, so 6.5 out of 10, not the greatest Tales, actually the weakest Tales book I've read thus far, and even the triple headers are better. So this is like the weakest story collection in all of Goosebumps that I've read thus far. And I do not have high hopes for any other one beating this and being so bad. Which, it ain't bad, it's just being the weakest. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the weakest by the end of it, I feel. Also, here's my ratings for each tale, in case you're curious. This is taken from Goodreads, so follow me on there, link in my channel description. That's gonna conclude this review for Even More Tales to Give You Goosebumps. Tell me what you think of this book below. What stories do you like? What stories do you hate, or dislike, or love? And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.